How do I convince my parents that dating a blue-collar man is okay? So I have been dating my boyfriend for a little over a year now, and it has been absolutely amazing. He is the most loyal, supportive, understanding, gentle, and kind man I have ever met, and inspires me to be better every day. I absolutely adore him. He didn't go to college, but he is very intelligent. Put anything mechanical or workable with your hands in front of that man, and he'll have it all figured out in a split second. Don't even get me started on how quick he is with numbers, and his social-emotional intelligence is great as well. He's been working full-time since he was 18 as a welder and makes good money for himself. He owns his own truck and motorboat, pays rent and other taxes regularly, and I would consider him responsible with money. So here comes the kicker, my baby boomer parents. They are both white-collar college graduates that hold master's degrees. They have always instilled in me how important academics and making a good life for myself through climbing the academic ladder is. They never in a million years envisioned me wanting to marry a man without a college degree. We have gotten into a lot of disagreements about this topic. My mum has blatantly told me before even meeting him that I could do better. She knew nothing about him other than he didn't go to college. They see him as lesser than, and that I'm going to throw my life away by being with him. They think that because he didn't get higher education, he has no drive to further himself in life. I have tried to explain that he wants to start his own welding company himself and has made steps to start doing so. But they don't seem to care. They don't have any qualms about how he treats me, his personality, nothing. They just can't get over the fact that he doesn't have a Bachelor of Science (BS) degree. My mom has even asked if he maybe would go to college in the future, with no regard to how he had the option. He received honors at his high school graduation, but knew it wasn't the best choice for him. I'm really struggling because I love him so much and there is no way I would leave him over this. Let's say we do decide to get married a year or so down the line. I don't want to lose my good relationship with my parents over this. I want them to see what a great guy he is, and he doesn't need a fancy degree to take care of me and love me. How do I convince my parents to see the real him and accept him, so I don't ruin my relationship with them? TL Doctor, how do I, a college-educated woman, convince my college-educated parents that I won't squander in poverty if I marry an intelligent and kind blue-collar man? You tell them this is the person you love and you hope they accept him, but if they won't, you refuse to listen to them criticize him. Ask them whether your boyfriend's kindness, supportiveness, understanding, and gentleness and their daughter's happiness as a result of these priceless qualities are worth less to them than him having letters after his name. Repeat to your parents that he is the most loyal, supportive, understanding, gentle, and kind man you have ever met, and he inspires you to be better every day. Insist that they never talk trash about him again, or you will not be visiting them. My boyfriend's overbearing in-laws are threatening our relationship. How do I navigate this without causing more drama? Has anyone dealt with similar issues? Hey everyone, my boyfriend, 22, and I attended a family wedding in Germany. We took his car and my parents came along too. My boyfriend told his parents he was going to a wedding but didn't mention it was in Germany. His parents found out and got really mad at him for not telling the whole truth, bombarding him with texts about being dishonest and irresponsible. The constant messages from his parents really stressed him out. Now his parents are accusing my parents of being entitled and narcissistic for not informing them or seeking their confirmation. They claim my parents are not normal and that something is off about my family. My parents didn't see the need to inform his parents because my boyfriend is an adult with a job and a car, capable of making his own decisions. They also covered all the trip expenses. My boyfriend has tried talking to his parents, but his mom just breaks down in tears, saying she's worried about him and continues to criticize my parents. This isn't the first time his parents have lashed out. They were previously upset about me borrowing his clothes and claimed that I spent too much time with him, suggesting unhealthy boundaries. He has confronted them in person about this behavior, but his parents are old-fashioned and hard to convince. They are not willing to listen to anyone else's point of view because they believe they are always right. What's really frustrating is that his parents only get mad when he does things with me. If he goes out late or crosses borders on his own or with friends, they don't say anything. But if it's with me, his mom describes it over text as if I'm misusing him and that he has no right to speak. My parents like having my boyfriend around. They genuinely care about him and his well-being. I feel like his parents don't want me to be part of his future. They act fake and sweet to my face but say horrible things behind my back. Attending this wedding was significant because it was about introducing him to my family and welcoming him into our lives. I'm really at a loss. My boyfriend and I are both adults, but his parents treat us like children. How do I navigate this without causing more drama? Has anyone dealt with similar issues? Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Thanks in advance. Your boyfriend has to stand up for both of you and set strong boundaries with his parents. If he doesn't establish clear limits on what they are allowed to talk to him about, she will always come between your relationship. It's his responsibility to act like an adult and not cave to his mom's manipulations. If he can't or won't do that, then there's no real relationship there. My partner cheated on me and got his best friend's ex-girlfriend pregnant. He wants to try to make things work, but I am completely heartbroken. What would you all do in my situation? My boyfriend of 3 years cheated on me when I was traveling back to our hometown for a few weeks. We had previously lived together for 2 years and had to live separately due to finances. He had a lot of doubt about living separately, saying he didn't think he'd be able to handle it. I was traveling a lot and started focusing on my mental health when I noticed he didn't want me over. When I was out of town, he would say he was going to bed early, and I believed him. He had an alcohol problem and suddenly he was drinking less and showering every day, which was unusual for him. I confronted him about his behavior and told him I needed to give him some space. Usually, he would explain he was feeling depressed or not okay. We were talking and he started showing animosity towards me and didn't want me to come over. It was 3-4 weeks without seeing him for more than 10 minutes a day when he would drop off lunch for me at work. I had talked to him 2 days before I caught him because he had said he was hanging out at his sister's, which wasn't normal for him. The evening I caught him, 2 days before my birthday, I had just gotten off the phone with him. He texted me all evening, which was strange considering how avoidant he had been for the past 3 to 4 weeks. I went to the store around 10:30 and when he didn't respond to my texts for a couple of hours, I assumed he was busy with something. However, when he did respond, it felt odd. I had a bad feeling for the past 4 weeks that he was cheating, and that evening I kept hearing songs about infidelity on the radio. Around 11:30, I drove to his apartment and knocked on the door. He opened it, tried to walk outside, but I stopped him and asked who was inside. When he opened the door, there she was, and my heart shattered. At first, he blamed his actions on his insecurities, saying he thought I was cheating on him while I was focusing on myself. The next day, he screamed at me, expressing his hatred towards me for being difficult. He told me the other woman was easy and all they did was lay in bed, have sex, and smoke marijuana with her 1.5-year-old child from another relationship present. He also mentioned that she had talked about needing to buy Plan B and hadn't had her period during the 3 to 4 weeks they were together. Initially, he claimed it was 3 weeks, then admitted he wasn't sure because he wasn't good with dates. Fast forward, I saw the woman and she was visibly pregnant. I asked her if it was his baby, and she denied it, saying she was 24 weeks pregnant in early May, although I caught him on December 20th, and the timeline suggests it could be his. I know it may seem foolish to still be in contact with him after 5 months. He has been more open and reverted to his previous behavior before he started drinking heavily. However, he avoids talking about the situation, gets upset when I bring it up, and doesn't want to argue in his own words. I am in a town where I have no family or support, and this situation has deeply affected me, leading me to seek therapy weekly. How would you all cope or move on from this situation? Dump his cheating ass, end the relationship, block him forever, and focus on yourself. You will never be able to trust him again. Nobody with any self-respect ever stays with a cheater under any circumstances. My stepmom is holding my dad emotionally hostage. My siblings and I love our dad. He wasn't around as much as he could have been, but he tried. We forgive him. In his older days, we care about him more than ever. When he remarried, he did it far too quickly and, in my opinion, made the wrong decision. He has alluded to it during some serious conversations about this topic. My stepmother is the most emotionally abusive person I have ever met in my life. She is abusive to us, to him, to my mother, and even her own children. She has borderline personality disorder that she refuses to acknowledge. We put up with it for years and my dad never had our backs. I could tell he was just going through it too. As I got older and realized it and started to see my dad was allowing it, I stood up for myself. My sister followed suit and I'm proud of her. The result was unexpected though. She now just lies about us and abuses others that allow it, who are close to us while refusing to speak to us altogether. She tries to use our relationships with her victims as leverage, mostly my dad. This peaked and exploded during my wedding. It was a small location wedding, just 40 people. I didn't invite my stepbrother for very good reasons. My stepmom took it as a personal attack and absolutely exploded. She targeted my dad. She attempted to prevent him from coming to the wedding, and it almost tore us apart. The end result was she didn't come and only let him stay for a few hours. She did this by still flying to the destination, getting a hotel 3 hours away, and changing their flights to a red-eye. My dad just didn't fight it. I have never been so disappointed in my dad for not standing up for his kid in such an important moment. But I forgave him as much as I can so we could enjoy our time. He alluded that he knew how much it hurt me and that he's sorry. He's being held hostage emotionally. I know she can make every day for him a living hell. Now I have kids. The situation has changed. I will not allow this woman to emotionally abuse them. I will not allow her to abuse me in front of them. The issue is, I want my kids to have a relationship with Grandpa. She's now holding that hostage too. Whenever that time comes, he'll call and say, maybe now isn't the best time, or offers to meet at my brother's and shows up sullen and clearly emotionally beat. He won't divorce her. They're so financially tied now, and I think he's got Stockholm Syndrome. He won't stand up for his kids, and we have long forgiven it so we can still love him. I just wanted him to get time with his grandkids without going through hell. I want my kids to not see this woman abuse people in my family. What are my options from an outside perspective? TL Doctor, my stepmom is holding my father emotionally hostage by leveraging his relationship with his kids and now grandkids out of spite. I'm at a loss of what to do other than keep trying to see him as he gets more and more depressed and we drift further apart because of it. There's no stepmom problem here, it's definitely a father problem. By staying with this woman and ignoring her abusive behavior, he's choosing to opt out of a relationship with you and your children. He's not a victim, he's a willing participant in this dynamic. It might be time to go to therapy, learn some tools to set and enforce boundaries, and then be blunt with him about his choices. Met someone at an event and we've been seeing each other weekly. What are we? Long story short, I met a guy in New York City recently. We hit it off really well and were super physically attracted to one another at a fun event we went to. We decided to go home together and were kissing outside the event and inside. The sex was great and we had an amazing night. The next morning, he got my Instagram and checked in with a, "How was your lunch?" After I left a few hours later, we exchanged a few words and then he stopped messaging and didn't react to my last message. A week later, he asked me to go over to his place again and have some wine around 4 p.m. I originally thought maybe this was a booty call, but was unsure. I agreed to meet up, but only at a bar first so I could feel a bit more certain I'd like to go over to his place again. We met at a bar and had a great time. The same energy and fireworks as before. We went home together and the next morning he made me breakfast and coffee, then I left. The same thing happened basically a week later again, but I reached out to see how his week was. He responded by asking what my plans were and if I wanted to hang out again. He asked me to go to a rooftop tan and have some wine. I agreed, we hung out and also went out to dinner together after, and then back to his place. Every time I've been over, he naturally assumes I'll be sleeping over and we always have breakfast the morning after before I depart. When we walk in public, he also likes to offer his arm for me to hold on to, which I found kind of different from more casual situationships or friends with benefits. I see him staring at me a lot, but I can't tell if he's genuinely interested. He remembers details and conversations we have had previously. Anyway, he verbally assures me how attractive he finds me and likes to hold my waist in public. He's paid for everything so far. It doesn't seem like he is pursuing me like crazy, although it's only been 3 hangout dates. I do suspect he is obviously seeing others, as I've found a condom in his bathroom and can't obviously be mad about it. We're not really defining what this is and don't keep that much communication ongoing throughout the week. What is this supposed to be? I'm a bit confused and unsure. Are casual friends with benefits evolving? One thing you'll learn as you get more comfortable in your dating life is determining what you are with someone. It's okay to want to be clear on things. Save your sanity and set some boundaries if you do want to be FWBs. More power to you. Partner mad about not having sex but not listening to my needs. Too long, didn't read. I've communicated my needs and boundaries in our long-term relationship, but they haven't been met. My partner gets upset about our lack of sexual activity and makes me feel terrible. He often makes hurtful remarks and disregards my feelings, leaving me feeling isolated and worthless. Recently, he suggested scheduling sex and accused me of seeking fulfillment elsewhere. This has drained me emotionally. Am I in the wrong here? I feel powerless and need help. This guy was 30 when you were just 17, which is already a huge red flag. For your entire adult life, you've been with him, and it's clear that this relationship has been dysfunctional for a long time. He devalues your needs and makes you feel guilty for not catering to his. And it's high time to recognize that none of this is normal. You deserve to be in an emotionally healthy relationship where your needs are met without ridicule. It's never too late to start doing the right thing, even if that means leaving him and finding your own path. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.